Namaste. Exactly 24 hours from now, we will have close to 8.5 lakh children writing their SSLC examinations in the state of Karnataka. Yes, it's going to happen tomorrow. The point of this video is very simple. Is having SSLC examination at this point of time really justified? I will give few of my points, although this is my personal opinion, based on the various factors that I feel are relevant in our discussion at this point in time. The first factor that I would like to talk about is the most important factor, the question of life and death. When we are talking about the corona crisis, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, nobody ever thought that this will grow into such a big balloon. Now, when you give me an option of conducting an SSLC examination on one hand and the corona pandemic on the other, when I try to weigh these two, of course the whole world knows that the corona pandemic will weigh a lot more than the examinations. So answering the question, which is more critical in terms of life and death, whether it is the corona pandemic or whether it is the SSLC examinations, the answer is straight there in front of you. Now I'll just give you a simple statistic. We are not just talking about 8.5 lakh children, we are talking about 8.5 lakh children into the number of family members. We are talking about the number of people who will be ferrying them, either the bus conductors, bus drivers or auto drivers, public transport, private transport, the people who are involved in bringing them to their respective examination centers. At the examination centers, we have people right from the attender till the head of the institution, including all the staff involved in invigilation duties, in housekeeping work, in ensuring that proper sanitization is done. So many people are involved. So roughly, if I have to take an estimate, close to around 30 lakh people will be involved in conducting this examination. I'm including the parents here as well. The point is very simple. Do you want to really jeopardize the lives of 30 lakh individuals for one examination? The answer is again straight in front of us. Point number 2. One of the reasons why the authorities are quite adamant on conducting these examinations is because of the success of the English exam that was conducted, the English second PUC examination. But we need to understand, second PUC English examination was a one-off exam. It was a one-off case. It was a one-off incident, because of which the authorities, the people at the ground level had enough time to do the possible groundwork that was necessary. But here we are not just talking about one single exam, we are talking about multiple exams happening on multiple days. So the risk factor exponentially increases out there. The third factor, one of the things that people keep talking about, especially the anxious parents and the children who have really studied well, these parents and children are stating a point that, hey, if the exams are not conducted, then it will be injustice for me, because I have put a lot of effort through the year to ensure that I do these exams well. And suddenly if the exams are cancelled, what is going to be the fate? I will be on par with every other child out there who's not really studied. Of course, I understand this logic, because out of 100, close to 80 of them would only start studying when the timetable of the SSLC is announced. So where is the difference between the one who studied through the year and the one who's just going to open the books right now? That's a very valid point. But I would just like to pose a counter question out there. Is this the last exam that you will be writing? Or is this the only exam that will determine whether you will be successful or a failure in life? The answer is again straight there in front of all of us. just the SSLC examination is really not going to determine the next 20 or 30 years of your life. Of course, if you did not write the exam starting tomorrow, and if everyone is passed, there is going to be no difference between the one who studied through the year and the one who is not. But there is this entire lifetime where you can prove your worth. I have one more point to talk about. They say, right, you need to hit the iron when it is hot, because that is the time when it is malleable, that is the time when it is ductile. All the children know examination should happen when it was destined to happen, when the timetable was set, when they were completely prepared, when their minds, their body was oriented towards writing these examinations. That was the time when the exam should have finished, and that is the time where the amount of seriousness towards the exam is the highest. Now when you look at what's happening today, close to 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months, there has been a lot of uncertainty in whether the exam will happen or not. Even today there is a lot of uncertainty whether the exam will happen or not, although the officials are very, very clear that the exams will happen. So we need to understand what is the psyche of the child, what is running around in the mind of the child. Is the child really mentally prepared to take on these examinations? I don't think so. Out of 8.5 lakh, I really do not know how many of them are really mentally excited, pumped up to go write the examinations tomorrow. There is always this fear that is there. The fear that, hey, what if I catch this virus? And do you think anybody can do really well in an examination with such anxiety and fear? I don't think so. Coming to the system, the biggest problem out here is the system, is the society, because we have made this examination into such a big bubble. We have been fed, we have been told that this is one of the most important examinations of your life, and you need to ensure that you do well. If somebody is writing an SSLC examination, right from the relatives, right from the neighbors, right from the roadside vendor will give advice on how to write these examinations, on how important these examinations are. No doubt, I am not taking away any credit from the 10th standard examination, but all I'm trying to tell you is this one single exam going to determine what a child will be doing 20 years later? Answer is a no. So point is very simple. Is there a real justification in taking this risk, especially when Bangalore has entered the transmission stage? This is what experts have been telling us over the last 1 week. There is talk of more lockdowns coming, there is talk of more seal downs coming, there is talk of more containment areas, there is talk of cases increasing in the hundreds on a daily basis. In such a scenario, do we really need to risk taking our children to write to these examination centers to write the exam? But during this entire process, what is really surprising for me is, am I missing something? When so many facts, when things are out there in the open, when so many other governments, when so many other systems have really cancelled the examinations or really postponed it, what am I missing that we are so confident in conducting the examinations? I really admire the confidence with which our system here want to conduct the examinations. But we all know a plan on paper always looks amazing. A plan is only successful when it is implemented. Of course, SOPs will be followed. Of course, there are strict measures taken. Of course, there are measures taken for children to write exams from containment areas as well. But imagine in an examination center when so many people crowd at one single point of time. Implementation and successful implementation takes a long way in really justifying the confidence of our system. I really wish that even now better sense will prevail. So many boards out there are trying to really contemplate in awarding marks based on whatever exams have happened so far. Yes, these are unprecedented times. Yes, these are times not only tiresome and difficult only for the state of Karnataka. These are tiresome times, these are difficult times for the entire country, for the entire world. One single academic year, if it does not follow the protocol, does not have a huge impact on a child's career. The child will still have opportunities. After the 10th standard exam, you have one more important exam coming up, which is the second PUC exam. After the second PUC exam, you have one more important exam coming up, which are the competitive exams. The exams which are termed important are endless. And people who have gone through this stage, like you and me, the ones who have written all these examinations, we know very well the word important will never go away. The first day of your job is very important. Your first project is very important. The first day of your marriage, very important. Every day of your life is very important. Is SSLC exam beyond all that? This video is not to criticize anybody. This video is just to ask questions. This video is just to point out facts which are there in front of us. And I'm really surprised what is something that I am missing. To all the children out there, I know in all this confusion, in all this debate, in all the talks that are happening, you should have been the center point, but rarely you are not considered in any discussion or any decision making at all. I know most of you are not prepared to write your examination tomorrow, but if there is an eventuality that you really have to write the examination, my advice to you, do not curse. Instead, just focus on giving your best. I know you will tell me, sir, it is very easy for you to speak in front of the camera. I'm the one who's going to write the exam. I'm the one who knows how difficult it is for me mentally and physically. I completely understand. But you need to understand, what other choices do you have? You have to follow the rules when it matters. So if the exam really happens tomorrow, go ahead, give your best, but ensure that you maintain utmost precautions. Ensure you just do not group around in the examination centers. I know examination time is a time where the first 1 hour before the exam is very crucial for everyone, because that's when you group around your friends, you talk about the doubts, you talk about the questions that can come. There's one person who's explaining the concept to the entire group out there. I know a lot of things happen and you really cherish it, but this is a time where you need to completely avoid it. Ensure you are sufficiently protected, wear a mask, ensure when you go